Plans to go to confession tonight, and I wanted to share this analogy with you guys because so many of you ask, why do you go to confession so often? Like, are you truly sinning that much? And a few things. One, I would go to confession every day if I could. I sin every day. Is it a mortal sin every day? No. I know I don't have to go to confession to cleanse myself of venial sins. However, even Padre Pio had said the soul needs a good dusting, even once a week. I used to, what I thought a very devoted practicing Catholic. I only went to confession twice a year, usually at like Easter and Christmas. Then I felt like I really needed to ramp it up, and I started going to minimum once a month, and then that ramped up to bi-weekly. And on a great week, I love to be able to go to confession once a week. However, typically on average, it is once every 2 weeks that I'm able to go. And I love that. And it keeps me more accountable. And I thought of it this way. So because I have 5 children, of course, my vehicle, and 5 children who were always on the go with sports and activities, and my car gets so filthy dirty so quickly. However, whenever I do clean my car, I notice I'm extra protective to keep it clean, especially as soon as I do it, right? That's just logical. It just makes sense. So then after, a few trips, a few days, whatever it might be, there's an empty water bottle on the ground, then there's a wrapper, then there's extra shoes in the car, there's an extra bag from a practice left in there, and it just gets more cluttered and cluttered. And the more that gets cluttered in there, the more I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll grab it on my next trip. And that's the same thing with our souls in sin. Whenever I leave confession, I feel so convicted to stay as pure and holy in a state of grace as long as I possibly can. And then the more we sin and veer off course, of course, we should be running to confession as soon as we need to. That being said, it's just like, well, I've already sinned. Well, your soul feels dirty and impure and cluttered, and well, I've already done that. Well, I'm going to confession later today. So we just don't hold ourselves as accountable. And I felt like that was one of the most practical comparisons for me going to confession frequently and a mom of 5 whose car gets very filled and cluttered and dirty very quickly. But be protective over your soul being pure. I mean, truly, I would go to confession daily if I could, if I didn't drive my poor priest absolutely crazy. Be protective over the purity of your soul. Fight to remain in a state of grace. And as soon as you slip out of it, run to confession, especially during Lent.